Why not just do a coffee time? You know what I'm talking about? Why not just do a coffee time? All right, so we got the beans in the pot. Why are they brown? You should already know that. And we got the pork chop stewing. Foggy. Come on, baby. All right. So for this segment of Coffee Time, we'll talk about the city of New Orleans. My city, your city, our city, the great city. So New Orleans is going to be all right. I want y'all to know that. I'm not with all those politics, so I'm not going to talk politics to you. But New Orleans is going to be all right. It's a resilient city, and it's a special city. And we know how to, do what we got to do. It ain't nothing new. Just not new. So we're going to be all right. We got the will to live and the will to thrive. And we know how to make nothing out of something. Something out of nothing. I'm dyslexic, so I get everything backwards. The first 2 times. So, trying to prepare my cup. Let me get this heavy cream out. I'm so thankful that sous chef left me a little bit. You know? There we go. How you like that? How we like that? Oh. Oh. I'm gonna have to give my baby some more heavy cream. Now I'm gonna try to adjust the temperature once it starts to come to the, I don't know, tongue tied. So yeah, we got in the city of New Orleans, we have a lot going on. And since the guys busted out of prison, there's been a lot of name calling, finger pointing. That's not gonna help nothing. But one thing I do not like is the attitude of some of these folks who are like, what are you mad for? Like, what are you mad for? You're not embarrassed. You're not the warden, or the sheriff. You're not in charge of the prison, So your job ain't on the line. It doesn't give you a black eye because somebody busted out of prison. The lady said it took her a few hours to confirm the facts. I mean, how would she have looked if she said, hey, we have a prison break and they were on a yard somewhere else? Now, whether that's just her knowing how to talk or not, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not with all those politics, but folks look for reasons not to work together. And I notice a lot of these people in power, they have no patience, man. They run their mouth so fast. They act like they don't make mistakes. They act like they go to work and they use all of your tax dollars in the best appropriated way. They act like when they go to work, they answer every call or email in an expedited manner. They don't. Oh, let me kill a heat. I went down to 2. This is a beautiful cup. So, I don't know. We just got to work together, man, and stop all that playing. Now, maybe I turned the heat down too low because now I'm on number 2. Can't talk about that left arm no more. But It's time for us to stop with all the name calling, man, and work together. Because guess what? When it's your time to walk the shame, you ain't gonna want all that fanfare then. Like that boy that was driving drunk, you know? That ain't his first time driving with however much he had to drink. I didn't see the toxicology report, and I don't care to see it, you know? There's a lot of people who drive and they're under the influence of alcohol, you know? And we live in a city where during carnival time, that stuff is normal, commonplace. We got drive-through daiquiri shops. You know, the bars close at what, 2? You don't think people driving with alcohol in them, whether they're a state representative, councilman, or whatever else, you know? Like, cut the cap, man. But at the end of the day, we got to work together. All right, there we go. Now, y'all know I like my coffee hot. Oh yeah, look at that artwork there, baby. Look at that artwork there, baby. You're always supposed to drink with your right hand. You put your steak knife in your right hand. You drink with your right hand. Man, that's so good, man. Man, that's so good. Boy, this coffee is so good. I just want to chug it, but it's way too hot. But we got 5 former inmates. Let me say it like that, because they free men now. They say 2 of them might be out of New Orleans. They done left New Orleans. And 3 of them is in New Orleans, you know. They was downtown the other day walking through the quarter and all that other good stuff. But I came across a social media post where this lady was very helpful, actually. She was saying that one of the little guys who broke out, he's not the kind of guy who is a leader. He's like a follower. And she was like, she don't know how this dude ended up in this. He was an A student, real smart. He was a geek. But atmosphere, man, you just get caught up with the wrong folks. And, you know, when keeping it real goes wrong. But my heart goes out to the victims of some of the crimes that were committed or allegedly committed. I haven't been following the story, honestly. But I could only imagine how those families of victims felt when some of those guys were able to bust out of prison. Now, it's like, are they coming for me? Is it retaliation? Are they trying to get out the city? You know, nobody notified them. So in all of the prison breaks in America that have ever happened, you mean to tell me New Orleans is the only city that don't notify anybody, like any victims or anything like that? Like, we have a prison break. Oh yeah, let me call their mama and let them know they got a prison break. I mean, I would be trying to apprehend the prisoner personally, but I'm not saying don't call and let the victim's family know that these boys then busted out. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying let's just be realistic, man. Like, this had to happen in New Orleans for us to notify, you know, this can't be the first prison break. This can't be the first one. What Box Brown broke out at? Didn't he put himself in a box and got shipped somewhere to freedom? Oh, box brown, man. Now, you're not going to hear me say this often, but that lid is hot. That lid is hot. So if you ever want to, get your hand stronger for heat, when you grab something hot, just see how long you can hold it. It works, man. Trust me. I'm a saint. I know you see them pork chops. Let me see. All right. You stay right there. Man, look at them pork chops there, boy. Ooh, look at them pork chops there. We ain't put no whatever that stuff is to make that gravy that color. We just browned the meat. We browned the aromatics. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Woo! Let's go for another round. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Sometimes the voices tell me to do it. I ain't even much gonna lie to you. Cover that back up. Let me show you an update on these beans. I have them on low number 2. Now look, some people be like, that ain't white beans. So that's why I call it white bean gumbo. I'm supposed to put shrimp in it. I don't feel like peeling that. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't feel like peeling that. First lady never offered. So, there you go. But I was down in the city last night trying to get some footage of the city at night. Because it's been a while since I took my gimbal and did a action ride, So I rode around the city, and it was pretty deserted. They had people there, but it was pretty deserted, But tonight I'm sure they're going to have a lot more people out. A lot more people. Pay attention. Hey, McFly. Who liked Biff, man? I couldn't stand Biff. McFly, hello. McFly, why did Biff want to pick on McFly, man? And for any of you youngins that's out there, we're referencing Back to the Future. I don't know what episode it was. It was one of them, though. McFly, hello. Man, this coffee is so good. But yeah, the city gonna be okay, man. We gotta stop all that name calling, and we gotta act our age and position in the scheme of things. Gotta stop, man. Gotta be more courteous and kind and polite, and have some manners, a little bit of decorum. Because guess what? The kids are watching what the adults do. They're the next generation. And so if you're acting all ignorant, what you think they're going to do? They're going to act ignorant too. You telling them it's okay. So since we're having coffee time, show you all the board again. So I got this board, this ski board, off of the trash. Shaz Cuddy Fam 1, Cooking Kiv, Resonating Creations, LLC, Pause and Play Nola, Grandma Teresa Gilmore, 455, Bad Cook 81, Shots, Pints, Pours, Nola. How you like that? How you like that? So, Grandma Teresa has a really good channel. She's a senior citizen, a single senior citizen on a fixed income. And she's doing it big, you know? She's doing it big. She needs watch time hours. So if y'all can pool together and resource some of your downtime and watch her channel, help her to get some watch time hours so that she could get monetized. I think she has 1,300 subscribers right now. And she has, don't quote me, she just don't have enough watch time hours. She goes live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Ohio time. I don't know what time zone that is. It must be Eastern. Yeah, it's Eastern time zone. Yep. Check out. I had an interesting conversation a few times actually about my white beans. And people like, you put shrimp in that? Like, yeah, baby, I put shrimp in that. You heard? I like the combination of habanero and shrimp with the Great Northern white bean. It's a very good combination. I still got to ride my bike 20 miles. This day has flown by. And I didn't go to bed till like 5 in the morning. I got so much of content to upload. I'm behind bad. And I have so much of content to get off my memory card on my GoPro. What you gonna do? Forget about it. So look, thanks for watching Coffee Time. Remember this, the city of New Orleans is resilient. We've been down and out. We've been banged up, busted up, booted up, zooted up, you know, all of that good stuff. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. We know how to live with nothing out here in New Orleans. You heard me? We know how to make nothing out of something. Sam dyslexic. Something out of nothing. And that's just what it is, man. So many people around the world do the same thing. But we're gonna get through this. You know, to the victims. Hey man, live your life, man. Live your life. Make good decisions. Live your life. Don't worry about nothing. My condolences to all of the victims out there. And just know that everything gonna work out like it always does, you know? Just make good decisions when you leave the house. You know, look through the peephole, check out your security camera, stuff like that. When you riding and driving, just every now and then look in your rear view and side mirror. And if you keep seeing the same car, just go towards the police station. You know what I mean? Go towards the police station. But don't live in fear. You know, don't live in fear. And definitely my deepest condolences if you experienced a loss as a result of a situation that I don't know about. And to the men that's on the run, you know, most of us understand why y'all would escape. You know, who really wants to be locked up, regardless of why you're locked up. But if you're running, man, it ain't worth looking over your shoulder, man. It's really not. And it's easy for me to say it because I'm not in your situation. But just take the lesson. You know, take the lesson. Look at how busting out got other people involved who was just trying to handle their business, you know. It's not a good future, man. And no matter where you go, you're never gonna have peace. So if you just take this lesson, you could learn from it, you could be rehabilitated, and you could help somebody else. Now, if you're looking at a life sentence, you can still help other people once you get rehabilitated. You know, you can still help other people. You could help those ones that was just like you when you get a chance to interact with them. And you could show the world you're not the same person. You learn from your mistake. Everybody who do bad stuff ain't necessarily bad people. But some of us just do bad things and we got to pay for it. We got to pay for it. So it's just what it is, man. You got to pay for it. So if any of y'all are listening to this coffee time segment, you know, man, just turn yourself in, man. And I'll tell you this. I'll personally, as a man, respect you as a man more. Just turn yourself in. They got so many people running around scared right now. You know. Just take the lesson. Turn yourself in. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Because you know what? If you got anybody on this earth that loves you, if you got anybody on this earth that loves you, they'll feel better knowing you're safe. And you know what? This is real talk, man. For a lot of our mamas in the city of New Orleans, our titties, our grandmothers, our mamas, for a lot of these strong women, our sisters, for a lot of these strong women in the city of New Orleans, the only time they get rest, real rest, is when some of us are locked up. That's just the cold-hearted truth, man. Sometimes that's the only time they get rest, when we locked up. Because when we coming in, before right as the sun rising, or we out there in them streets, they don't have no peace, man. They don't have no peace. And the real fact of the matter is, that's why a lot of times, man, when one of us get gunned down in the streets, them mamas be on TV crying, man. Them grandmamas be on TV crying, man. Your sister and your auntie be on TV crying. You know why? Because they knew it was going to happen, man. And they didn't want that for you. They didn't want that for you. But the only time they have peace is when you're locked up. So you know what that means? You're in the wrong line of work. You have the wrong occupation. You have the wrong goals in life. You better than that. If ain't nobody ever told you that, listen to me, man. I don't know you, but I know you better than that. I know you better than that. Take your lesson. That's all it is a lesson. You could be rehabilitated, and you could look at yourself with self-respect. There was a movie I saw based on a true story, and it was a Denzel picture. It was about a boxer, and he got locked up, and in prison, that's what he learned and transformed and became a productive member of society. When he was released, he never forgot what he learned. You know, I have family members that's been incarcerated more than they've been free. And they were born free, as we say, a free man. And for some of them, the only time they're productive is when they locked up. My grandmama, man, real story. The only time my grandma get rest is when one of my family members locked up. And I really believe this. When he closed his eyes, she gonna close her eyes right next to him. That's how much she loves him. That's how much she loves. And a lot of these mamas in New Orleans, a lot of these grandmas in New Orleans, a lot of these titties in New Orleans, they love you just as much. Whether they could show you that love, whether they could articulate that love, you know? They do. And for all the people out there that don't understand the streets, it's okay. Just keep your opinion to yourself. Because unless you've been in the streets, or you've loved somebody on dope, or you loved somebody selling dope, or you loved somebody who wasn't living a good life, if you love somebody that was out there reckless, trying to crash out, if you love somebody that was hopeless, that's the thing. If you know anybody that has ever loved somebody that was hopeless, man, that's a dangerous place to be. And for a lot of these youths in the inner cities, these urban communities, they're hopeless. They're hopeless. So instead of judging them, offer them hope. And if you some of those folks out there, educators, professionals, big mamas in the neighborhood, if you those people that are the educated brothers that's just trying to give them the word, or trying to give them a different outlet, like in Boys in the Hood, Trey Daddy. They got a lot of Trey Daddies out here who trying to spend a few moments in time to turn this cruise ship before it wrecks. Man, keep doing that, man. Don't give up on these young people. They got a lot on their plate that we don't understand. It's so easy to put them down and to say they lazy, they don't want work, they this, they that. That's not fair, man. It's not fair. We got to pay for what we do, good or bad. We got to pay for what we do. And we going to get paid for what we do, good or bad. I'm not trying to say anything contrary to that. You plant corn, you ain't going to grow cucumbers. You're going to grow corn. But don't give up on them. Don't give up on them. That's all I'm trying to say. Every time I see some youngsters, I try to give them just a little bit of hope through my experience or through something I feel they might not remember in this moment. But if they make it a year, or if they make it through this pickle that they're about to go through, or if they make it through, then they might remember that old head that tried to school them something because he cared about him, even though he ain't know him. There's a lot of people locked up, and they did something bad. They did something bad. They're not bad. There's a lot of people locked up who did something bad, and them suckers are straight up bad, And that's why prison is supposed to rehabilitate. And oftentimes, it can't. It can't. But like I say, I'm not with the politics, and I'm not trying to be political, but I am a humanitarian. We got too many youngsters that are walking around hopeless. And instead of just pointing the finger, offer them some hope. That's all I'm saying. That don't cost nothing out of your pocket. In fact, at my bike shop, Boca, Andy's trying to work on a situation where he could help inmates who have been rehabilitated and paroled to come to the shop, work on a bike, so they'll have transportation to work. So they'll have transportation to get around the city. That's free. When I was a little younger, about 19 years old, I worked at a shipyard, and they had a work release program in Lafourche Parish. And I got to meet a lot of guys who made one bad decision and spent 15, 20 years in prison. And now they're about to get out of prison. But the results show if you get out of prison and you don't have no money saved up, it's going to be so much easier to go back to prison. So Lafourche Parish had a work release program where these guys would leave the prison, they'd go live in this camp and they would have allowed him to work. So I believe the camp take like 80% of your money and you get 20%. And you save that 20%. And then when you're eligible to be released, you take all of those 20% that added up over the year or two, and you'll have a few $1,000s so you could financially have a new start. You don't necessarily have to go back to that old neighborhood. You don't necessarily have to go back to the same environment where you know how to hustle, where you know how to stick them up, where you know how to steal and boost and do all of these things that put you in a situation where you ended up back in jail. And I thought it was a wonderful concept. And for some of them, it helped. For some of them, it didn't help. Some people don't want to be rehabilitated. They like doing hood rat stuff. They like doing bad stuff. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about those who made one bad decision like we did when we was 18. One bad decision, but we just didn't get caught. Made one bad decision when they was 16, like we did. We just didn't get caught. Think about that. Think about that when you want to judge somebody and point the finger and say how this, and this. Remember that time you got away with it? Everybody don't get away with it. And that's all I'm saying, man. We got to work together, man. We got to work together. We got to teach these youngsters how to work together, how to be part of a team, you know. But anyway, I took enough of your time with my opinionated self. But thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. And if you made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate that. You know, I really do. But remember this, I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. I heard that in a song when I was a little bitty boy. And I can't tell you how many times it looped. My dad had 4 sons. My mom, 4 sons. Same dad, same mom. And he never wanted the street life for us. My mama never wanted the street life for us. None of us ever been arrested. Came close. Came close a few times, you heard me? Would have got caught. Would have been arrested a few times in my life. You know? And that's what I'm trying to say. Some people just get caught. And some people learn from surviving it and they don't become brazen by it. You know? But some people don't have what I had. I had a man and a woman and a grandmother and a mama and a grandfather and a papa, aunties, uncles, cousins. I had a support system coming up. I had accountability coming up. I had people that wouldn't let me do certain things coming up. And I have family members who had all that, but they chose the street. Chose the street. Business minded, they could turn that into $30,000. Business minded, could count money better than Einstein. Streets got them. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the channels. Y'all come back now, you hear?